the most powerful thing that you can do right now in 2025 is not get friend zoned by not showing intent to women who don't show you any intent.
Right.
Wait for the intent.
Guys are 100,000,000% worse than pick me girls, and we could guess that. But there are men out there that do a bunch of favors for you, and they try to be so nice to you that to make you feel guilty for not liking them, and they make it a you thing, and then act like they're some kind of victim because they're too nice to. Like I can't. There's a man in my life. Where do I even begin? The type of guy that's like, I love women, I'm a feminist, and then when you don't want to hook up with them, they're like, there was a guy in my life that I had to see all the time that kept doing like grandiose things for me, and not even in like a love bombing way, but in a way to like make me feel guilty for not liking him because you didn't like him. And then on like the second time we had ever met, he was like, do you want to be my date to a wedding I'm going to in Mexico with my entire family? And I was like, randomly, like, no part of me wants to do that right now. And when I told him no, he was like, oh no, it's fine. It's just like, I just had terrible luck with my love life the past couple years. Like, it's just been so hard. You think my love life is awesome right now? Like, what are you even talking? Look at my life right now. Like, I ended up making a dating app profile, and I guess one of his friends sent it to him, and then he sent it to me, and he was like, this is just like hard to watch. Like, this is just weird for me. And I think he thinks that we were like in a rom-com together where it was like a slow burn thing, and I would like eventually realize that he was the man that I was supposed to be with because he was just such a nice, like my friend, like my guy that was in the friend zone or something. But it's not like that. But that would be hot. But no, it's not. That's not like what the thing's going on. It's not that for us. Again, I would love that if it was someone I actually had a crush on, and I feel bad to say that, but this guy does too much. He would like message my friends nice things about me in order to try to like manipulate the situation. I can't even think about it. And anytime I wouldn't react in the way he wanted to like a nice thing that he would do for me, a nice thing, because by the way, if you're doing all of these things in order to make me feel guilty for not liking you, you're not a nice guy at all. You're being evil. Anytime I wouldn't react in the way he wanted, he would post sad things on his story about like women and stuff. So me, by the way. But when a man's doing it, stop it. Stop. Maybe quotes that were like, it's better to have given your heart to watching you broken than to not. That doesn't even mean any. What are you even talking about? Watch us be married in 5 years. Yeah.
The other thing is I'm going to tell you guys is the most powerful thing that you can do right now in 2025 is not get friend zoned by not showing intent to women who don't show you any intent.
Right.
Wait for the intent. Wait for, again, if I meet a girl and I really like her, I ask her to come to group events with me repeatedly. We get to know each other. And if she seems like she's invested somewhat in me, then I'm going to ask her on a date, maybe, or another group event where we can get to know each other. Not what you guys are doing. You're meeting women and immediately I want to take you to dinner. You have no value, so you can give no value. You are valueless, and your intent, your sexual intent is worthless as a man when you do this for someone who hasn't shown any reciprocation. If you're a billionaire, if you won an Academy Award, if you're an NBA champion, if you're like an incredibly famous streamer, if you're a male model, fuck everything I said, just go ahead and go direct. But for the other 99% of you, if on dating apps, 80% of men are deemed to be below average attractiveness, then that means for the best thing you can do as a man is friend zone girls and not get friend zoned. Go ahead.
I have a theory. Everybody neves to get off the dating apps.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. We really need to get back to the basics. And it does kind of go with what you've been saying now for many years, Michael. Yeah. Being friends and being introduced to other people via your friends. Yeah. That's how I met my incredible boyfriend that I have now.
I can't take credit for that. That was Chloe, but I was pretty close to being the one to introduce you to. You were.
And even you have introduced me to somebody that I dated long term in the past. Yeah. And we're friends now.
You want to know, it's more than 12 famous dating coaches that I know. I introduced them to their girlfriends. I want you to think about this. These are cold approach pickup artists, and they met their girlfriends through my social circle.
But I do want to also say this to the men. It's going to counteract a little bit what you were saying. As a man, I recognize, and I think a lot of women on this panel and a lot of women in general, aside from the woman that we showed on Owen's video, a lot of women are going to, if somebody comes up to me and asks me out, let's say I'm not in a relationship and I'm dating, even if they don't have like the perceived value yet, I think it's still, I mean, sometimes people get nervous. They kind of blurt something out. They say, oh, I shouldn't have maybe done that or whatever. I still feel like that's not that big of a deal because I know in the past, I've definitely played coy with somebody that I wanted to go out with.
Yeah, but you're also an attractive female. Like you can play coy.
But here's the thing, and this is
you can believe the earth is flat and they're still going to ask you out.
But I'm speaking to men in this. Have a little fucking backbone and get rejected once or twice and then keep it moving. But like risk the rejection.
I would say risk the rejection once you have her in a familiar environment where you guys are like have a similar social circle. I wouldn't
Fair.
risk the rejection on someone you just met. Of the two genders, more men find more women attractive than more women find most men
Right.
attractive.
So it's
The
a numbers
the
game.
average woman, if you, and when I say average, I mean if we were stratified 10 million IG profiles or 10 million dating profiles, the woman who's at the mean, if she looks across at the man who's at the mean, she is not interested in him at all. But the man who's on the mean, the guy who's a 5, he looks across at the girl who's at the mean, the median, and he's very interested in her, but she's not very interested in him. So the way you get through that, and again, if you guys look up the 2015 Lucy Hunt experiment, where she looked at couples, how long they'd known each other before they got together. Once there was 9 months that had passed, there was no correlation in attractiveness, meaning that's where the 5 guy dated the girl who was a 10 because he friend zoned her and put her in his social circle. And I still have to debate this 18 years later. This is the best way to meet attractive women. This is the best way to date. And the friend zone thing is absolute. It's the worst thing you can do is get friend zone, because not only does she friend zone you, she tells her friends what a great guy he is.
Yeah.
He's a great. They tell her friends, it's like, oh, okay, he's got a micro penis. Got it. Okay, I'm not going to date him.
Oh,
That's what
God.
the girls hear when you because it's like, oh, he showed you intent and you rejected him. Well, I better reject him too, or it's going to be embarrassing. But guess what happens whenever I have a girlfriend? Guess what happens in my DMs? All my exes
all
are
the
like,
women.
how you
Blow
been?
up.
What's going on? Do you guys see? Women choose who other women choose. That's just if you guys want to watch the show White Lotus, watch the Sydney Sweeney character who just cannot stand the fact that her friend is getting with some other dude. That's what I'm talking about here. So understand that concept and understand that you not getting friend zoned and you friend zoning girls is the ultimate cheat code. But in order for you to do that, you got to have female friends. And I know that's the antithetical to what you guys believe. That I was wondering if any of you guys were going to get to. So this guy's friend, she friend zoned him, and then you notice how many different instances she talked about him coming at her and trying to manipulate her. What should have happened? When someone tries to manipulate me, what do? I cut them out of my life.
Right.
But she had numerous instances where he kept trying to manipulate her. Why do you think that is? Because she wanted one. She's enjoying it. She wanted the
100%.
attention.
Yeah.
She wanted the attention from this dude. And you want to know how else I know she wanted the attention? Because she posted it on TikTok in detail. She just wanted it. It doesn't matter whether or not this guy is friend zoned. It doesn't matter whether or not she's attracted to him. What matters is that you know that he's attracted to her. That's the only thing that matters here, is that she wanted the attention from it so that she could talk about it over and over again.
But if you are just even remotely a friendly woman.
Okay, so let's talk that's called male overperception bias in evolutionary psychology. I see this happen a lot of times. So this photographer who is not sexually stimulated in whatsoever to the model, he witnesses her, and his caveman brain is witnessing her in a bikini, naked, implied, whatever. And his brain cannot tell him anything other than she wants you for sex. And so because of that, that's where the miscommunication happens for a lot of these guys. I know a lot of photographers are terrific photographers. I know a lot of photographers became photographers because they don't know how to talk to women. That's the only reason they became photographers. And so you see this happen over and over again. So they overperception. Women have an underperception bias, meaning guys will be hitting on them and women will be like, he doesn't even like me. So that's something that's been seen in nature.